Good evening, everybody. Happy Halloween, and welcome to Catfish Weekly. I am your main and majoritized host. I own 51% of today's show. I am the Chad, and co-host at 49% is Josh, the Weekend Angler, along with the person who owns 110% of the show, Mr. Lyle from Catfish Weekly. Good evening, gentlemen.
That's some fuzzy math right there.
Yeah, I'm from Chubby.
Sketchy.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right, this week we're finishing up the end of the series here, where Lyle has been working on showing us how he builds rods, and he will be working on the finish of a rod today. So, if you have not checked out the previous 2 weeks, he has showed us everything from putting the grips and on the lathe and being able to smooth those down with some heavy duty and fine grade sandpaper, so putting the eyes on the wraps and stuff like that. And today night he'll be doing the finish. All right, let's say hi to some folks there, Josh.
That sounds like a plan.
We've
got Mr. Joe Buck 66 in here today. Mike Irvin, Chrissy Brown, Catfish Weekly member, is in here with us. Got Fields to Water is in there. We'll have to time that guy out. Mr. Jason Lamb is in here. Let's see who else we got. Mr. Mark Barnum. Matt Calder. Wabash Nate is in here. Another Catfish Weekly member, Brian B. Catfishing, is in here.
Woo-hoo.
Brian. There's Miss Sharina from Sharina's Keeping It Real. Let's see here. Crappie Day Fish On is in there. Who else we got? Fisherwood Squirrel. Mr. James from Patriot Catfishers of America is in here. Trying to catch up on my chat here. Mikey Greenwell from Greenwell Fishing. Lance Makugai, a Hawaiian fisherman's in here. John Boy's Catfishing. I think we're catching up. There's Catfish Weekly member Fishing with the Chad. If anybody remembers that guy was cool.
He was a pretty cool guy.
I like that guy.
Yeah. I miss him.
Dave Garchar's in here. James Ross. 922 Crappie Barbecues in here. Michelle from It's All Mine. Let's see, Whisker Dreams. Takedown Catfishing's in here. There's Chris Flores from Muddy River Catfishing. Hello, Chris. Good to see you in here. Weed Hopper. And I think I have caught up. Who'd I miss, Chad? Because I know I had to.
You say Whisker Dreams?
I did say Whisker Dreams, but we could say hello again.
That's right. Got to say hi to Ricky. Sunny Cat Nabber Parker. Tom is in here, LG Bath, but unfortunately, Michelle has his phone because it's hers too. So he is watching. No, I think you've gotten everybody else, if I'm not mistaken.
Fishing with the Squirrel has a new video out. If you haven't checked it out, you need to go take a look at it. It's a pretty good show.
All right, check that out.
Oh, there's Freddie from Freddie's Outdoor Adventures.
I thought you said Freddie. That's why I didn't say nothing.
No, I didn't. I think I missed Freddie. If I said it, I'll say Freddie's. I like Freddie. We'll say hello to him twice.
Well, that makes one of us.
Freddie had an awesome Halloween costume the other day.
He did. That was actually pretty awesome. I was very, very much impressed. It made me laugh watching him walk around the boat with reels in his hair.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to your in order, right? It should be Caitlin.
Yeah, to Caitlin. Yeah.
Caitlin whooped it on Saturday.
Caitlin did pretty good Saturday on Roger's channel, Muskrat Adventures. He had his Halloween kids catfishing tournament. And, she impressed me this past weekend because about halfway through the tournament, I told her, I said, I'm going to the front of the boat to sit down and drink coffee. You're on,
There
Roger.
you go.
said, "You're on rod detail." I said, "I'll come up when you need a Joey." And she stood back there at the back of the boat and kept all the lines tight on her rods, watched for bites, reeled down on them, and she did everything but net the fish. She was even starting where she was getting the grippers on them, and she weighed a couple of them on her own. So
it's awesome, dude.
She's doing good. She's growing up on me.
Hey, I'm glad she's into it. I can't get mine to even go on the boat, let alone fish. So maybe one day she'll get back into wanting to fish with Dad. Sunny Cat Never Parker says, "Do you have Lyle working again?" That's
Always,
right.
Always. He just thought he was retiring.
He is retiring.
Danny Stones Outdoors has made it in. Said, "Met a bunch of guys at work today that are crappie fishermen. Turned them on to Panfish Nation and Catfish and Crappie. I'm sure they greatly appreciate that."
And that's right. Trey did catch the perfect fish this weekend, 2.22 pounds. There's Miss Pontoon Jody in here, the real Pontoon Jody.
Somebody says, "Isn't that child labor?" No, it's more kind of like if you ever watched that, was it? Yeah, Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, yeah.
Mr. Barilla said he'll fish with me. We're actually getting ready to leave here in the next couple hours, and we're going to drive all night and go do some fishing for a few days. So, looking forward to that.
How'd you get
really looking forward to Mr. Lyle showing us this work on this rod. What are we doing tonight, Lyle?
We're going to put some. We're going to do some marbling. I just put a coat of finish on this section and this section. You can't see the other section, but it's in front of the foregrip, and we're going to marble those two sections tonight. I just need. It's just not quite stiff enough to do yet.
Well, we can still keep on talking if you'd like. Kind of tell them a little bit. So remember last week, Lyle showed us how he wrapped the rod with the threads. Just right before the show, a little bit before the show, he did put some thread sealant on there, right?
Yep.
So he is waiting for that to harden up just a little bit.
Yeah, we this is actually another bumping rod, and this is a test deal for one, and we're going to marble this section, and there'll be a decal that goes over top of it, and then the section in front of the foregrip will marble it, and a decal will also go on top of that. What we're gonna do is red thread with 2 coats of thread preserver. Again, like I mentioned before, the thread preserver keeps the thread from darkening when you put the finish on it. But the main reason I use it is to keep the air bubbles from working its way back up through and having to deal with them. That stops all that. But once we get this marbling done tonight, then that'll dry, and tomorrow we'll come in and put another coat of finish, just clear, over top of that, then the decal, and then one more coat of finish, and all that'll be done. But I probably won't marble the guides tonight. I'll probably do that tomorrow while this other's drying. So,
all right. What in the world is going on here?
What?
Somebody has hijacked Lyle's computer.
what?
Happy Halloween.
Happy
It's not
Halloween.
me.
There's a ghost.
Oh, mama. Gotta love her. Love her to death. Somebody.
She's a saint for putting up with Lyle.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Real catfishing's made it in. Annette Morgan.
I saw Valerie Irwin's in.
Yep. Matthew Schott.
Let's see here.
Mr. Dale Hayslip. I think he's been in here, but I can't remember.
Oh. Looks like he's putting that marbling on now.
I am a little bit. The silver's not ready, but we'll go ahead with the black.
This is a. So there would be no two would be identical then.
No. No, see, it got real heavy right there. I don't like it to be quite that heavy, but once it's on, you kind of stuck with it.
Drizzling icing over a cake, it kind of looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except cakes taste better.
Yeah, but if you had a white blank and then you put that black icing under, you could make it look like a zebra cake.
You could, yeah.
And zebra cakes are awesome.
They are.
There's Brian from QC Fishing. Cold Creek Catfishing's in here. So Cold Creek said a minute ago, let me see if I can go back and find that comment. He said Freddie knocked the costume out of the park the other day. So
What?
Yep. Nothing wrong with zebra cakes. Hey, there's Mr. Creole.
So you're spinning that rod really slow as you do this.
It's on a dryer mode, actually, and that's about 6 revolutions a minute. Where if I use the foot control, I can go anywhere from that to several thousand RPMs a minute. What this has on it, basically what it is a sewing machine.
Okay.
That makes sense.
With a foot control, just like a sewing machine would have. And that's what I do when I'm putting the thread to them. But the other is just a single little bitty motor, and they make them in 2 speeds. I think a 6 and a 12 RPM. I like the slow one for doing this. This is just not quite ready. We're gonna make it work.
Now you mix that up, you're letting it sit up until it kind of
till it gets stiff. Yeah, sort of. You want it to be, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but you want it to be strangly or something.
Okay.
A little like stringy.
Stringy, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
For some reason, and maybe the pigments, the black will always seem to set up faster than any other color.
I see Jeremy's Tournament Cats has joined us.
You're starting to see it all kind of come together now that the silver, the black, and the red. I like that.
Lyle, Jeremy from Creole Catfishing would like to know what is recommended for removing paint from a blank without damaging it.
Sandpaper. 600 grit sandpaper.
And being real careful.
Yeah. It takes a lot of practice. You'll ruin a few of them before you figure it out. But nothing really else will take it off quite like sandpaper will. It sounds like Cindy's got more kids outside.
So I'm sitting here getting mesmerized watching it with the.
She better be checking to make sure it ain't Dockery just trying to get free candy.
Oh, no shit.
Wow. Yeah, we should have warned her if she sees any little gremlins running up.
She's a leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
Little leprechaun on Halloween.
With a fish basket in his hand.
That would be a dead giveaway with Dockery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a fish basket for us.
That is really cool looking.
It is.
You can take these and do all kinds of designs with them. I like this particular look, but you can take like this thing. I don't know how much of this you can see, but you can just drag it through there and put all kinds of designs in them.
Now, is that like a dental pick you're using to do that, or?
Well, I actually, this is not one, but I actually do have some dental picks I got from a dentist because they work so well.
I was kind of looking at that.
For people that might not have seen, Catfish and Crappie will not have the show tonight after this, so
Oh, wow.
he is taking the night off.
All right.
Well-deserved night off. Well-deserved.
He's probably out trick-or-treating with Dockery.
Oh, they're about
Probably.
the same height,
I
ain't they?
think they win as David and Goliath.
They can go as the Blues Brothers.
Twins.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Danny. You guys are horrible. Talking about my brothers like that.
Murillo says that it's starting to look like Eddie Van Halen's Frankenstrat.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't know nothing about that. I have very little use for Eddie Van Halen. He married Valerie Bertinelli when we was kids growing up. And I never did get over that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Please note that Mama Cindy is in the other room. She will.
She knows.
David Smith, Lyle's working on another bumping rod today. He's putting the finish on the.
Is trying to get it now to where we got a fairly even amount of both of them. If it has a little more of the silver on it than the red and black, that's okay, because the decal lettering on this one will be black.
I'm sorry. Mark will not have a commitment because of prior commitments.
With Dockery.
Yeah. This Becca Mud Trim's made it in.
Guys,
David
if you
Smith?
haven't checked out Becca's Halloween stories after the show tonight, go over to Miss Becca Mudtramp's channel and check out those Halloween stories. Those things are awesome.
Yeah, I seen she put out another one today, right?
Rebecca
Yep.
is quite the poet, artiste, writer.
Good storyteller.
Yep, sure enough. I think we're going to leave that.
I like it. Oh,
Now,
Dean, send me out of here.
Now, after that, Lyle, after that dries, and you put that other coat of clear on there, that's going to make that where that's not, or is that right now not raised any?
Well, it won't be by the time it dries. It'll almost be smooth. And then when I put the next coat of finish on it, clear over top of it, it'll really be.
It'll smooth it out.
It'll really be smooth. And then you can do, but see, I can go in here with this and move that stuff around too. That's what I do with Dockery is I blow him out of the way. He's such a little guy.
Danny, I've actually thought about building a boat. I was, Chris Flores and I did a rod and reel build about 3 or 4 years ago. And we had talked a couple years ago about doing a boat build, and it just hasn't happened. I think I need to, if I'd ever get caught up enough to do it, I think I need to do one and build a boat.
How's the camera angle?
Looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
To use on smartphone. John Boys, I don't know really of any. I've never tried to edit a video on my phone. I always use PC to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you might try there's one called Equiptment. It's the one I started out on. It's kind of basic, but the more you use it, the more you'll learn some different things. I don't think it's too far advanced.
Mikey Greenwell uses some kind on a phone, I believe.
I think he does. Yeah, if Mike's still in chat, I'm pretty sure he does edit his off his phone. I use Adobe Premiere for a lot of stuff, but I use Corel Video Studio for quite a bit also. So Fishing with Squirrel said he'd dig in a white blank with orange and purple marble.
Can be done.
Sonny Cat Never Parker said the only way he could build a boat is with his wallet. That's what the Tidy Bowl man
That's
has.
right.
Why the Tidy Bowl man has a bigger boat than me. There was a guy a while back, and his channel is gone from YouTube now. He was somewhere over in Southeast Asia. I want to say it was Thailand, but I'm not for sure. And he built all kinds of boats using those plastic, like pickle barrels.
Really?
He would cut them open and basically turn that into big, thick plastic sheeting. And he would frame this boat out, stick weld it all together, and then put this stuff on there and seal it up. He made some awesome looking boats.
Huh.
And he put some pretty nice motors on them. He was flying up and down some little bitty river. But
That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know what he did, but the last time I tried to pull one of his videos up, it said that he had, this user had been removed for violating the terms of service or whatever else. So
Imagine that. Boy, you got to do is do anything to piss somebody off anymore.
Danny Stone says, tune in next week. Lyle will be putting decorative frosting on cupcakes.
No, he will not.
Fishing with JBT said, now it's movie time with family. Y'all have a great Halloween. You too, my friend.
Yep. See you, JBT.
Purple blank gold guide wraps and rod tip, purple gold EVA handles.
I've done some purple and gold stuff for Cindy. Purple is her color.
I don't know, Creole. I would think more of a gold blank, purple wraps would be more up your alley.
Squirrel says, wrong tigers there, Creole.
Yeah.
James Dockery Fishing says, not sure what Lyle will be doing next week, but I know it will not be fishing.
If I want to crap out of you, I'll squeeze your head, Dockery.
And there's all that fluffing stuff. So, good day and good morning from.
She's always on, got some stuff going on over across the pond.
Down there in Queensland, Australia.
Yep, cool videos and stuff. Cook shows, all kinds of cool stuff.
I think I could actually sit and watch this all day.
I know. I told you for a minute you were over talking, and I was just sitting here watching.
It's relaxing,
and I was like entranced by it. It's very interesting.
Well, I do it a lot of different ways. This is just a fast and easy way. A lot of times I'll put a gob on it and string it all the way along through here, and then I'll hit that button, that foot feed, and I'll hold this down through there, and I'll work this back and forth. And I'll have 2 or 3 different colors on there, and it'll just mold it all into one up and down that thing. That's a pretty neat deal too.
See, Chad, we were right. Dockery was out trick or treating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got.
He's a trick, all right.
He said, "What didn't get as good a haul this year? I think they're on to me not being a kid."
Oh, you're about kid size, height wise.
What's up, Irvin?
There's Irvin, the paid tourist.
Have to watch old Dockery. Sonny Parker's dogs are as tall as James is. I think we got plenty of silver on, but I think we need a little more black.
Even Squirrel said I was going to ask if everyone else is as mesmerized.
Yep.
It is.
It is. It's relaxing to watch.
Now, Lyle, this question is, should you mess up or feel that you messed up with putting the colors on? What do you do to straighten that out? Is that where you use the pick at and just kind of do some different designs, or what?
You can either do that and try to straighten it up and make it look like something, or you take acetone, you wipe it off, and start all over.
Acetone.
You make them birds, Chad. You remember Bob Ross? He said you never make mistakes. He said you got to make.
Happy little bird.
You make a mistake, you make it a bird.
That makes sense to me.
There's a happy little bird in the marbling.
It'd be like, I'm not going to say it.
We could let Lyle do this marbling, and we get Michael Murillo in here to read some story, and we could probably hypnotize all 55 people that are watching right now.
That's right.
Everybody be sleeping.
There's Jerry Parker. Parker Pursuits is in here.
What's up, Parker?
My
I
buddy
think that's good.
and the other half of the Baldwin Bashers. Only because it aggravates
I
Chad.
think that's as far as we're going to go with that.
Just for that, Winter Blues has a 10-pound minimum on it now.
Is it a 10-pound minimum now?
Every time you say Baldwin, I'm going to up it 5 pounds.
Baldwin, 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 Baldwin.
Minimum of 35 pounds.
Oh, let's see, right.
Jerks.
But that's the way that one's going to look. And we'll have black decals on it or black lettering on it.
That's going to look really good.
I got there's a couple of different kinds of decals paper that I use. One of them is stick on, but it's thick, and I really don't care much for it. The stuff that I've been using a lot in the last several years is decal paper like put on model cars, water slide paper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's real thin. That's Mare Bubbles. The water slide paper, one of the things I've learned about that is you need to have your water warmed up. You can't use cold water. It takes forever for it to detach from the backing. But if you warm it up to where it's not hot, but more than lukewarm, about 45 seconds, it'll detach, and you just slide it right off on there and give it time to sit there for a few minutes, and you can put the finish right up back over top of it. I still got some bubbles in there. Let me see if I can find my torch. There it is.
Now, the label you're going to put on it, the decal, is that going to say Blackhorse Custom Rods, or is it?
Well, yeah, I'll put either on the front or the back. It'll say that, or it'll say that it's wrapped by me, or something like that. And then usually it'll have somebody's name on it.
Or so that one will have that, and then it'll probably say something like, "For my number one son."
Well, it's possible.
Creole said that's going to look awesome covered in slime, blood, and slicker guts.
Yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
Dockery says the label's going to say Krampus cane.
I've got some like that. Actually had to have some little bitty ones made for that because I couldn't get them to print where I could read them. And I had a lady make some for me that made them real tiny. I might have some of them here.
How tiny are we talking? Like James Dockery tiny?
Yeah. I'll pull a couple out here and show you.
Right. I wouldn't be picking on him if he wasn't.
Can you see those?
Messages.
Hold them down just a little bit. There we go.
There you go.
They're upside down.
What do they say?
Looked like Grinch
Grinch canes, yeah.
There it is.
There we go. Oh, that's
Grant
awesome.
James. But that whole decal right there has got the fishing rod and the lettering in it, and it's probably just over a half inch, probably 5/8 of an inch long and a 1/4 inch tall.
Hey, Mr. Maurice Cason. How you doing, Maurice? Good to see you in here.
These here. Can you see those?
Oh, yep. You're upside down again.
They're
Though.
upside down, but we can see them.
Okay.
There we go.
We got third time the charm. We got it.
Krampus canes.
Oh,
And then
Mr. Maurice.
These was done by Decal Connection. If I have any done, Debbie out there does me a really good job, and they make them for lots and lots of people. But I like the ones I do with the D slide paper better, but sometimes I can't make them work, or dark colors work real good on light colors. But if you're not careful, a lot of it turns opaque and you can't really read it. So that's when I go to Debbie and she fixes them up for me.
Gotcha.
Anybody else have any other questions?
I don't see really any questions in here. Let's get some questions in here from Mr. Lyle.
Because next week we won't be, not that we wouldn't answer questions, but we won't be doing rod building next week. We'll be doing something else. Not sure what, but it'll be something else.
How long will it take that to dry before you're able to put the next coat of
4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours?
I'll usually wait and do it in the morning. Once I take the dog out, and depending on how cool it is in here too, because I haven't turned the heat on or anything yet. And Becca, I don't think so. I don't think this one is. I'd have to check and see though. But I go out and it needs to be between 68 and 80 degrees in here for finish to set up right. If it gets much hotter than that, it sets up too quick. If it's colder than that, it takes too long to set it up. So,
does the humidity affect drying time on that, like it does like with spray paint or anything? Or?
Yeah, absolutely does. I have a dehumidifier if it gets to bothering me too bad. Matt, that'd be cool. I never heard of that company before. It'd be something to look into.
Circus City decals, huh? Valerie Irwin said that rod is perfect for Ohio State fans.
Yeah.
Oh. That's one that could just be thrown right in the river.
There's Justin's fishing fetish.
Hey, Justin.
Do I have any great grandchildren in a pin? I actually have a grandson that has come over and spent several weekends with me, and he has a manual bench set up where he turns it by hand, and once he gets to where he masters that, then we'll graduate him up to one of the. I have 3 of these, and one of them I stripped down so it's almost only for parts, but we'll either buy him a new one or fix one of them up and fix that one up and give to him when he gets ready. But he now ties his own jigs and flies, and we're working on his second rod, so hopefully he's the only one that's really interested in doing it. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
We had the same idea. Danny said he missed a great part.
Chad needs tossed in the river.
Well, I made a comment about that other side of the river team.
Which other side?
Them Ohio State Buccaneer guys.
You guys in that college stuff, I can't get interested in that.
Honestly, I don't really get into much of it anymore at all. I used to love college ball, though.
I like to watch the high school kids and the pros play, mostly baseball. But if the kids are playing, I'll watch them play about anything except golf and soccer. I don't watch either one of those. I don't even consider them sports. So, but anything else they play, I'll watch. Especially if it's grandkids. I might even watch them play some of that crap, but I'd hate to.
Lyle, a question for you. So if you were starting out a rod, how long from start to your finish does it normally take for you to work one rod?
If I didn't have to stop and wait for stuff to dry and
I mean, time included, right? Because that's part of the process, right? So,
well, about 3 or 4 days, if you count it that way. But if I could go through and not have to wait in between, I could do one in 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
But it takes, you put I'll go in one night and I'll grab up 6 or 7 blanks and I'll put butt caps on those one night. And that night I may put grips or reel seats on 6 or 8. And if I have time, then I'll go in and maybe wrap guides on one. And then I'll do the same thing whenever I'm out here. That's what I'll do. I'll start 5 or 6 of them at a time. And I hate to just turn around and show you, but there's probably 40 different stages of different rods started in here right now.
Lyle, Jerry Parker wants to know if you can make a retractable lanyard in the rod for people who like to throw rods in the water.
I think I have made lanyards for them. That the retractable part I'd have to think about, but I could just cut a hole in the butt cap and tie a big knot in there before I glued it in, and where you can just shove it up in there.
Creole, I've done that too. It's hard to resist it's hard to resist doing that. He says honking a horn at people getting ready to tee off is definitely a sport.
Oh, I roll the window down and yell 4 at them.
And then so does Lance Bakugai.
I have maybe another extra word or two that I might share with them. You never know.
Now, Lyle, I just thought of another question here. So if you were putting on a hook saver, at what point would you put a hook saver on?
I put it on before I done any of this marbling. And I'm glad you brought that up, Chad, because I don't put hook savers on unless people ask for them. And I've got the little square ones that you wrap on there, and I've got little round ones that you wrap on there. But I've found the ultimate hook saver, and nobody uses these because they're so expensive, but they're chrome-plated brass.
Really?
I'll get one out here and share this with you.
Oh, man, Sonny, that's an expensive day.
You see this?
Yeah.
You file that down, and you put it on there, and then you wrap over top of it, and you can bend this up as high as you want once you get it on there, and that is chrome-plated brass. And that baby ain't going to break. It ain't going to go nowhere, and it's forgiving enough if you mash it, you can pull it back up. They're really, really heavy duty.
That looks quite a bit
$6-8 a piece, but they're worth every penny of it if you want a hook caper. The others are so cheap that if somebody wants one and they say they want one on it, I don't charge for them because they're so cheap. I buy them by the millions. But these here are a little bit pricey, but they're worth every penny. Every penny.
See,
especially
Kevin
on
Metal Cats has joined us. Good evening, Kevin.
We've seen that one. What's Lyle's thought on different material on rod eyes?
I like stainless guides. 99% of the people I build for want stainless guides. and stainless will groove, but the guides that I do have 3 coats of chrome on them, and the chrome will, if you get chrome on it good, that will not groove. But the other stuff, the reason I don't like the inserted guides is invariably somebody will step on one, or they'll bounce it off of the side of the boat or the ground or whatever, and the insert pops out. They're just a pain in the butt to deal with. And regardless, I've got guys that argue with me about this all the time, and I don't care what they say. A stainless, good quality stainless guide with heavy chrome plating on it will take a licking and keep it ticking. And I don't care who makes an inserted guide, they will all pop out, all of them. So in my opinion, unless I'm using it on ultralights or ditch pickle rods, there's no reason for me to use an inserted guide.
Right.
Just not fly rods, because people that catfishing guys are hard on equipment. They just are. But guys that fly fish and crappie fish and bass fish, they take a little better care of their stuff. So they just do. I mean, I don't mean that to be negative. It's just a fact.
I'm supposed we work hard as catfishermen. We're tired.
Our catfish gear gets the heck beat out of it.
It does.
They do.
And that's why I won't spend a whole lot of money on bank fishing gear, because my bank fishing gear
takes a beating.
It gets tortured.
Yeah, it does.
It gets chucked in the back of the truck, and gets stuff rolls around and hits it. And
absolutely. And one of the most popular rods that was ever built back in the day was Jim Moyer rods. And a friend of mine that I used to build a lot of rods for over around Columbia, he had some of them, and he brought them to me and showed me, and they had never had braided line on them, and monofilament grooved the guides on them.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "You ever see that before?" I said, "Yeah." And the reason for that is there's no chrome plating on the guide. There's just stainless. It was stainless guides, but they grooved with monofilament. Now, how big of the monofilament it was, I don't know. It was on his catfish rods, but I had seen that once before on another. And it might have just been some cheap guides. I don't know, but I'd seen it twice. But he wasn't going to fix them. He was keeping them because they was made by Jim Moyer, and he wasn't doing anything to them. He's just going to leave them like that. And I built him 6 or 8 rods, and the following spring he liked them so well he ordered 6 or 8 more. I think it was 6, I guess it was 6 of each, and he used 6 of them for wintertime fishing, and the others was used for fishing when the water warmed up.
Let's see what we got there.
And that's what we done.
See, Kentucky Redneck Outdoors is in here. Trying to see if I've missed anybody. David Smith.
I don't know if Jim Catman Clark's in here or not.
Yeah, Sonny Parker's headed to bed. He said he started back to work today. He had to be up at 2:30 a.m. That is very early.
Well, if it's got to be one of us.
Yep.
I'm glad it's him and not me. Now, Chad, you was asking, I don't know how well you guys can see off that camera phone, but that stuff's almost smooth now.
Okay.
I'm starting to see a little bit more like the shine of it too.
The shine's coming in now.
It's just almost smooth. In fact, it's smooth enough now that in the morning, if I wanted to, I could put a decal right over top of that and just do one more coat of finish.
Okay.
It's that smooth. And the one back in the back's even more smooth. Of course, it's been on 15, 20 minutes longer too.
Right.
But this has got a spot. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that spot right there. It just doesn't. didn't really suit me correctly. I don't know if there's a little piece of something in there, but I'm going to try to warm it up and see if I can get it to. You have to be careful or you'll.
You got their little torch. Yep.
Yeah, I don't like using a torch, but my alcohol burner took a dump on me, so torch it is. But yeah,
Right.
that turned out real smooth. It's really nice. So
That is cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brian, you
And
ain't
there's-
kidding. That braid, yeah, it would.
Oh
it
yeah,
tore those Berkeley ECAT rods up.
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember when spider wire first came out. Everybody's, oh, you got to
It's
spider
cutting through
wire,
everything.
spider wire. And I put that on one of my reels, and it like I didn't know, at the time. Well, I didn't think about it. That a lot of the poles that I had for bank fishing stuff had the plastic inserts, and it just went
It
through
ate
that
them
like it
up.
was nothing.
Mhm.
yeah.
I actually have a scar on my right pointer finger from that spider wire.
I dearly love braided line. I really do, but it has its place.
Mhm.
And
Agree.
Doc and I used to razz each other about that all the time. Doc is a big monofilament guy, and once I went to braid, I can't go back. I use it on ultralight stuff. I use it on channel cat stuff. I use it on everything. I just can't go back to monofilament. The only thing I can see monofilament being good for it, the way I fish, is leader material.
Mhm.
That's just the way it is.
I'm a mono kind of guy too. I think there's certain application, like you said, for me to use the braided stuff. But
Well,
I
for
like-
one thing, for a long time, till COVID hit, probably 90% of what we done was bumped.
Mhm.
So you got to have braid to bump. It's the monofilament's just not got enough sensitivity to it to be good at bumping. You can do it, but it's just once you pick up a rod that's got braid on it, it's unbelievable the difference.
you're not wrong there, Brian. That spider wire, the original spider wire, was like razor wire, and we were out actually down there on the banks down here at the mouth of the Licking River where J-Dog fishes, and I got a hit. I picked my rod up and it stopped, and I was holding the line, just trying to pull it, see if if I could get it to do anything, like I would with mono. And about that time, it took off, and it took about over a quarter into my hand, into my finger. It just like that. It hurt.
Yeah,
I went back to mono after that. I think that's why I have something against the braid now.
Yeah,
That's spider wire.
I
For
use braid on a
years-
lot of stuff, but I use mono on my bank fishing gear. But
For years and years, when I first started using braid, I had it on a rod for Cindy to bump with, and everything else I made her use monofilament on because I was afraid she'd get her hand in the wrong spot and it'd take her finger off or something. But as time moved on, she wanted to use braid too. So now her stuff's got braid on it. But she learned not to get her hand and fingers in it. That's the thing that bothers me. Is someone inexperienced or a kid or somebody that don't know the difference get their hand wrap her hand around her, try to pull one up that's hung up, and I mean it'll just cut you to the bone.
it don't take nothing for that to catch you.
Creel said he'd have to take a second mortgage up to be able to afford enough 832 to put on his pin reels. You'd probably have to put 200 yards of backing on it before you ever
had enough to get
them pin reels they're ocean reels, really.
Yeah, I've got some pin squalls, and I put some braid on there. It took a lot of just junk line backer to get it up there where I could put about 200 yards of braid on.
Bass Pro and buy that Dacron.
And it didn't like didn't like that braid. Those pin squalls did not want to throw it.
Huh.
So I pulled all of it off, put Berkeley Big Game, I think it was 25 pound on, and those reels work perfectly fine now. But I switched over, started using 10-pound braid on my 10-pound high-vis braid on my finesse fishing stuff for bass. And then I just use about a 3 or 4 foot fluorocarbon leader.
Yeah.
And
see, that's what I like on my skipjack rods and stuff like that. There's I use braid and stuff like that.
I use 30-pound
faster.
braid on my skipjack rods.
Yeah,
because we get into so many Asian carp, and I'm like, if I hook one, I want to bring him in too. So
Yeah, my cousin.
It's much better.
Yeah, my cousin, who's dead and gone now, him and I used to do some fishing together, and Gene told me one time we was fishing a tournament, and he said there's not a fish in the Mississippi River that I can't land on 20-pound monofilament.
mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, he's never really hooked into a giant. But he caught some big fish. He caught 60s and 80s, and all he ever used was 20-pound monofilament. And I broke off 30-pound, 40-pound before, so I knew that wouldn't work for me because.
Hey,
but
Lyle,
I've
I
never.
think we have another imposter.
We do. I don't see it, but I'm on a tablet, so.
What, can you see the screen?
I see the chat.
Oh, you see.
Oh, I see the other. What is that? That's Cindy back in there.
Oh, she looks like she's having a good night.
She's having fun.
Yeah, she got all them kids and stuff going. So
big old smile.
She
on
used
her
to
face.
have a witch. She used to have a witch outfit she wore all the time. I mean, just at Halloween.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you're going to really get yourself in trouble.
No. Parker said his 93 come off a 25-pound, yeah.
Yeah, if you're
80
that rate, you can work a fish. You don't need all that.
I think we had like 5 trick-or-treaters tonight.
We didn't have a whole lot out there.
If you let the action of the rod and the drag of the reel do its job, you'll never break anything. But you have to let them two items do what they're designed to do.
Yeah. I used to think go big, go home, right? I used to use 40, 50-pound test lines, stuff like that. And I've slowly backed it down over the years. I love the 30 for the rivers, but, my channel cat rods, I do like 20-pound at max.
Matt Calder, happy birthday. Turning the big 3-4 today.
Well, happy birthday. There's Malton's back, Josh. Got me in the eye.
Speaking of which, I had a birthday last week, and hundreds of messages and phone calls and happy birthdays. And I would like to thank each and every one of you. Seems like every year I get more of them, and I try to make sure that I answer or like every one of them. And if I missed anybody, I'm terribly sorry, but it means so much to get so many, and people take their time out to do that. And I want to thank everybody for that.
Absolutely. Did you get any cinnamon rolls for your birthday?
I did not. But I did get a really, really good steak.
See, I figured you would have gone for shrimp.
Nope. I went for steak. We didn't leave town. We have a new restaurant here in town that's up, and they can do a pretty good steak. And that's what I wanted, and that's what we had.
Good. It's hard to beat a steak anyway.
Yeah, if it's done right.
Oh, Creole, I don't know that I can.
I'd like to wish the first creature to walk on land. Happy birthday. What a guy. What a guy.
If he ever orders a rod from you, remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
I told Creole that one time that's how you could tell Adam and Eve weren't Cajuns. They'd have skipped that apple and they'd have barbecued that snake.
And that's how you can tell that I am not a Cajun, because I ain't never bothered no snake. Ain't gonna happen.
I don't know. Rattlesnake's pretty good, Lyle.
I'll take your word for it, buddy boy.
I'd like to try that.
That's right.
Ooh,
no more
fish things for Lyle.
Oh, nice.
Is that because he doesn't fish anymore, or
Can somebody time him out?
that comment was on behalf of James Dockery?
I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I may buy him anyhow. It goes to a good cause.
Matt Calder, we were talking about doing the same thing here for too long, doing another low country boil with the crab legs. And
I'd love to come over for dinner that night.
those things are good.
Oh, I love that stuff. It's awesome.
Christina and I were talking about putting the recipe and the ingredients and everything together, and we might do that live or something.
That'd be cool.
Anybody that would want to, if they're going to cook along, we'll give that StreamYard link. We can get a bunch of people on there.
Hey, you can do 10 of them.
Be a lot of crab.
That's right. We had a good one down at Winter Blues on Wheeler one year. Oh my gosh. It was amazing. First time I'd ever had crawfish. There's a video, a couple of them, where a girl was teaching me how to eat them things. Her name was Dawn.
We had that for the first time when we went down to Wiley this year. We went to a place for dinner with everybody, and I'd never had them before. It was pretty interesting.
It is, and I liked it, but it's a lot of work to get them out of there. The shrimp's a lot easier to eat. John, welcome, John.
Yep, John Parker's in here.
Lyle, just so you know, I'll give you the update on what Jeremy DeFore will love to have written on his rod. But it's not family friendly, so
okay.
I thought he wanted a Florida Gator on there.
Ooh, maybe we'll get him some Roll Tide with red and black and white lettering.
My. I think he likes that purple Louisiana stuff.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I don't think they ever win a game, but you never know.
Parker said he could eat his weight in seafood on a daily basis. We've done good. We haven't gone to the food subject in a couple weeks.
That's true.
Oh,
Brian. Wow.
8.19 on there. That's pretty cool. That's cruel.
That's mean.
That was a low blow.
Oh, that was
funny. I can see Brian doing that. I really can.
I can see Brian doing that.
That's like Dockery. If I build Dockery one, I might have to put the Short People song lyrics on it.
Thinking Creole would like. Man.
Oh boy. I can put a lot of stuff on there, and there's a lot of room on. I can extend this out to where it goes plumb up to the first guide, right? So time him out.
Build it, and I will still outfish Lyle.
Yep.
I drove all the way up to his house and never got a bite. What's that tell you?
You should have fished in the hot tub.
Well, it's probably full of fish. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, I would have just fished the hot tub.
Yeah, we sure had a good time up there.
Ooh,
sure we did.
Now that sounds good. Michelle says her next video is shrimp scampi.
I like that. I like that. I just like shrimp. I really don't care how you fix it. I'll eat it anyway.
We had shrimp for dinner tonight.
Nice.
Folks, if you haven't already, though, we would appreciate you hit that thumbs up for Mr. Lyle.
That'd be awesome.
39 and almost 60 people in here the last I looked.
If you haven't joined, go ahead and join and subscribe to us. We'd sure appreciate it. And you guys going to have to help me thank Josh and Chad for everything that they're doing for Catfish Weekly. They've been doing a bang-up job. And for me to be able to do this, I needed them in here doing the rest of the stuff. And I thought the last 3 weeks worked out really well.
It's been an awesome series.
I like it.
I've enjoyed seeing just what all goes into a custom rod build.
And there was a lot of stuff that we never covered, but you know, an hour a night for 3 weeks it's hard to cover everything.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good to switch it up every now and again, and we've done that. And I think this was a good series to do it. It's something that you've done for a long, long time, and people know about it, but they've never gotten to see a whole lot of what you do with it. So
I've had guys try to get me to do this for a long time, but I just never had everything set up where it has worked out with you and Josh to do this. And I've actually thought about coming out here late at night and doing lives, but I'm afraid that I can't watch the chat and do them and keep up with everything because I never get anything done.
You'd almost need to get you a laptop.
Well, I've got one over here, but it's an antique anymore.
Yeah, you almost a little bit newer one. Freddie dropped a $5 super chat, by the way, Lyle. Said, love these shows. Love watching Papa Lyle work.
Thank you so much, Freddie. We appreciate it. We really do.
Cindy,
okay,
my
James.
son would absolutely love that mask, by the way. I took the kids to a trunk or treat Saturday evening, and we were walking around, and John absolutely loves skeletons now. And
nice.
He had to wave at every single skeleton we saw, and there was people dressed up. We had to get our picture with a guy that was dressed up as a skeleton. And Michelle said she'd like to see a repair series and jig tying class. Oh, nice.
Okay.
Dockery says anytime you want to do late night rod building, he will co-host for you.
Can he stay up that late?
Probably not.
But yeah, we can do that. And Michelle, we'll get back to doing some of the Saturday night fly tying before long, and we'll give it a week or two here, and I'll come back out here, and anybody that has any ideas on what kind of repairs they want to talk about, let me know, and we'll put together an evening of doing rod repairs.
Or we did talk about our favorite recipes a couple months ago. We did so.
Yep, we were talking cooking fish.
Yep.
We didn't mention blackened fish, and that's how Parker likes his. Parker very clear on the fact he likes blackened catfish on the like on the Blackstone or something. Well, thank you, Matt.
Yep. Thank you, Brian, for your words. Appreciate it. Just remind everybody, Catfish and Crappie will not be live tonight, so we will go as long as you guys want.
Yep.
But it's more because I seen the girls walking around through the house with laundry baskets trying to finish up. Got to send the kid down to grandma's, and Dee and I are going to hit the road here in an hour or two. And
you guys have a safe trip down there.
You know, my boss was very upset with me when he called me on his vacation day Friday to thank me for all that I do. And then I told him, well, thanks. I'll think about how great I am next week when I'm on vacation. And then he turned into where he was upset with me. because I put myself and my family first before the company this week. So
How dare you? How dare you?
I think there's a good chance I'll have my job still when I get back, when my boss calls me on his vacation to tell me how much he appreciates me. So
That's a good deal.
It's a good sign.
I said,
I see.
well, show me the money.
Somebody has put Dockery's face up in the brand. It wasn't me because I'm not in there.
Was not me.
We don't get many angry faces from Dockery anymore.
I got one today.
I get other things. I don't get angry faces.
I got something worse than angry faces earlier.
Yeah, I usually get things other than angry faces.
Yeah, I get emojis that, well, I just get them. What did Justin saying? Gabby said, send her here.
Send her here.
Oh, probably talking about Alyssa.
Oh, okay.
I would, dear, but she has to go to school. School is her number one priority. Well, to us it is. To her it's not. But
But she's got straight A's, right?
yeah. She's doing actually pretty well this year, though. I will give her that.
Great kid.
She is. All right, gentlemen.
Let's see what we got there.
Josh, I started to ask you earlier. So we got Tacticats coming up. When is that?
That is on the 13th, which is a Sunday, from I believe 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. God's time. That's Central Time. And
okay. And then we turn the clocks back next weekend.
Turn the clock back next weekend. Yes. Okay. Tim Molina says someone in the family has to graduate.
I graduated.
Justin says, Gabby says reading is for rich people.
I love it. She's such a nerd. I love it.
Oh, that's funny. So, yeah, I've got to get I was just thinking about it the other day. I've got to get the
Parker, you might.
Yeah, D graduated too.
I got to get the show set up in StreamYard for Tacticat.
Yeah, I got so much I need to do.
Weeks, so
I got to get the Winter Blues post out there, and still I haven't done that. I got so much to do with it.
Parker Pursuit says watching Lyle and James late night would be like watching grumpy old men movies and sitting there insulting each other. And Creole, yeah, Creole said what I was about to say. That's exactly why we'd watch.
We might have to do that one of these days. Well, I'm going to jump off of here, fellas. I want to thank everybody for watching us the last few weeks. And like I said before, if you guys have any suggestions on some other stuff that you'd like to see on Catfish Weekly, let one of us know. We'll try to make it happen. You guys can close out. I'm going to head in the house.
Lyle's calling it quits.
Sounds good.
There we go. Hi, Mom.
Happy Halloween, Mama. All right. There we go.
No, let's not do that.
I love it. This is Halloween. I hope you guys have a great week. We will see you later on, probably on the water sometime this week, since Dee and I are on vacation. Let's cross our fingers that things go well and we are able to do so. But we will see you on Thursday night on the bait shop. I may let Freddie back in after he quit last week. I'm not sure if I'm going to rehire him or not. And then Lyle and Mark will be back on with Panfish Nation right after the bait shop on Thursday night. So have a great week, everybody.
It always makes me nervous when I see Lyle's camera start to go other places. It's like you never know what's going to happen. So
yeah, it's probably a great idea. Have a good week, y'all.
Have a great week, everybody.